Yelp's real website. And here's my Hack Reactor version of Yelp's website. And I'm going to demonstrate one of my projects from Hack Reactor. This is a facsimile of the Yelp page for Hack Reactor. Now, what I'm using is a microservice architecture. So there's actually 4 different servers and 4 different front ends that are pieced together by a proxy. And the first front end is this Yelp panel that's called the header. It has the photo carousel, it has a Google map, and it has basic information as well as the menus and the search bars. So here we see a search bar, we can see various mouse over effects for the menu, clickable links, we have clickable buttons. I like the little dragon for the Chinese food here, for the Thai food. We have Biohazard for home cleaners, Bio1, great company, cleans up all kinds of stuff. And we have all this front-end functionality here. You're not required at this stage to build out the back-end. That's actually the next project from Hack Reactor. Notice also that my map is an actually integrated Google map, so you can actually zoom in and out and interact with it, whereas this map on the actual Yelp web page, you can't interact with it. It's a static map. So I'm actually more advanced over here. Another thing is, whereas both of these addresses are 944 Market Street and 944 Market Street, and I need to add bold here. It's not a big deal, very easy to do. This is actually not 944 Market, because Market, I believe, should be between Tahama and Howard. And this is on Turk and Powell. So, yeah, and this is in the Tenderloin district, which Hack Reactor moved out of. So this map is actually showing an old location. And I'll write Hack Reactor a message. So this is the first standalone microservice, the header microservice. The second one we're going to look at is the sidebar, or the aside as it's called in HTML5. And that's the side here. So we have the hours. Now here there's an open now and an open now here. I wanted to implement this, and this would have been fairly easy using a library called moment.js to calculate what time it is now and whether that time fits in within these lines, and then otherwise to have a conditional open now or conditional not open now. But my mentor at Hack Reactor said, yes, you could do that, but that's not really worth doing because it's so simple. It's just a little time intensive, so don't worry about it. Now we have from the business link, which is right there. We have a you might also consider. Oh, we don't have that because I didn't do that. It's the same thing as people also viewed, which is available here. And by the way, people thinking about joining the Flatiron School may want to reconsider because they were acquired by WeWork, which is now laying off people left and right. So morale there, probably not the best. Education, probably not the best. We have the browse nearby, same sets of icons, and we have people found Hack Reactor by searching for that. So not a lot of programming logic here, just placing this aside or sidebar component here to make the site look like Yelp. And so the most important part of Yelp is to make reviews and to leave reviews. And that's the third microservice here, recommended reviews for Hack Reactor. We have this little trust bar here that you can get rid of. And then we have the ability to sort different reviews. Now Yelp has chronological sort, highest rated, lowest rated, a proprietary sort, and so on. My sorts are a bit different because I decided to aggregate by women and men, And then I needed a third category, and so I aggregated also by the lowest rated and the highest rated. I wanted to do a lowest rated women and a lowest rated men, but there were so few low ratings that it was just one category overall. You'll notice here that the text is a bit strange. And that is because some of this text was generated by using TensorFlow and machine learning by taking actual reviews, because I didn't want to just copy the actual reviews, and pushing them through Google Collaboratory deployment and generating through an artificial neural network machine learned text. This is not part of Hack Reactor. It was just something I was interested in doing. And OpenAI and Elon Musk are out there saying that machine-generated language now is so close to real people's language that you can't differentiate. Well, I can absolutely differentiate that this person is either a machine or an idiot. So either he has better technology than I do, which is quite likely, or it's just publicity for OpenAI. Anyway, we can come back and we can see, you can start your own review here. And when you mouse over, there's a mouse over effect with a little pop-up that comes up. And here I've replicated that with the pop-up. Now, the stars don't change color. And in order to change the color of the stars, I believe the way I would implement it is to load, if I'm mousing over star 1, I would load an image for all 5 stars, where 4 of the stars are gray and 1 of the stars is yellow. And if I were moused over number 5, I would load an image where all the 5 stars are red. I didn't want to, and so there's a separate image for each position of the mouse over, and I didn't want to do that. So all the stars are gray except for the darker gray when you're actually mousing over a particular star square. So start your review of Hack Reactor. Now we have the actual reviews, and you'll see just like regular Hack Reactor, regular Yelp, you have many reviews. So all these values are being pulled from a backend. How many friends, how many reviews, how many people found this review useful, funny, cool. And so I have that as well. These are randomly generated numbers, more or less, that correlate with the types of numbers that I'm seeing in the actual real amounts. And so the text of the review and the numbers themselves are being pulled from a backend database. The backend database is in MongoDB, and it's being hosted in the cloud on an instance of MongoDB Atlas. So there's a cluster where that's running off, independent of any of the servers here for the architectures. And then every time I load or click a route, it's making a request to MongoDB and then populating the language and the numbers here. Oh, number of people with 0 friends. That's unfortunate, but reflective of actual Yelp. And the dates of the review and the number of people who clicked on these buttons as indicated by the database. So if we go again, you'll see all men because it's sorted by men. And, the pull from MongoDB Atlas, which is an entirely different set of servers, but it's instantaneous and to refresh. And that's similar to the experience with actual Yelp. And finally, there is an effect of a mouse over in order to see these options here. I did not include a mouse over here, so that would be one thing, one more feature that I could implement on this microservice, the reviews microservice. And again, there's mouse over for the pagination here. And then 71 other reviews that are not currently recommended right there. All right, and the final microservice component is this footer. The footer contains several columns with categories of links to help navigate. It's a site map, essentially. And then also there's a geographic site map where you can navigate to different cities. So the columns are here. And insofar as there's a drop down, for example, languages, I believe I didn't load all the languages in, but here are some major languages. I'm not quite sure why, because I've attempted to override the cascading style sheet repeatedly with different approaches here, but the color is somewhat off from the color on the Yelp style guide and the Yelp page for the words English and United States. I've tried using styled components. I've tried using just basic CSS. I've tried using inline formatting in the JSX file because this is in React. I'm still not sure why the color is not conforming. That's another thing that I can take a look at if I wanted to develop this more. And finally, we have at the bottom Yelp, our registered trademarks of Yelp. And my project is called Yell, so Yell Inc. Yell are registered trademarks of Yell. So this is an overview of 4 different microservices and the sort of work that you do in Hack Reactor. For this project, you're assigned to a group of 4 different people, so 3 other Hack Reactor students. Now, unfortunately, I ended up doing this myself because one of my 3 other peers moved out of my particular Hack Reactor program to join another one, a better fit for his schedule. The second one had some medical emergencies with one of his relatives and was off at the hospital a lot. The third one decided he wanted to do mobile development, and so he worked extensively on mobile apps, and I was busy with legal work in addition to Hack Reactor. So it was very difficult coordinating with my other 2 colleagues, so I ended up doing this by myself. But imagine if you develop these skills and you have 3 other people, as is intended, also developing, you can create some really good products.